Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, and welcome to part 2 of top 10 event ideas, or top 10 events that we want to see in the Simpsons Tapped Out. So this is part 2 of a collaboration with ElloArfur. So make sure to check out part 1 before you watch this video, which is over on ElloArfur's channel. I will leave a link in the description. So this is my 5, I guess, the 5 that I picked. ElloArfur has gone through his 5 that he picked. These are my ones. So I've tried my best to keep different characters. Well, I have got different characters, different buildings. There is a few character overlaps, and I'll talk about them when we get into it. But for the most part, this is completely unique to ElloArfur's one. They're all different themes, but like I said, there's a few overlaps with characters that they could add. So let's get into it with my number 6, which is my Father's Day event idea. So this is an event that I have wanted for a while. I really feel like they could do a full-on major event for Father's Day. You know, we did get that Real Moms of Springfield event a few years back, which was a Mother's Day event, and I think that event was pretty damn solid. However, I would have liked it if they made it into a multi-event, and I think the same is true for a Father's Day event idea. There are plenty of characters' fathers that definitely could be added in the game. And just to name a few, we have first Eddie Muntz, who I think for me is the one I want the most, just because I really liked his character in the episode with Nelson. I forget what the episode's named, but it was a missed opportunity not to add him in the carnival, the freak show event, whatever it's called, the Circus de Springfield, whatever it's called, that event. It was a massive missed opportunity not to include him, because of course he was included in the freak show. And yeah, I just really like his character. I think there's a lot they could do with it in the game, and it would be awesome to see him. However, apart from Eddie Muntz, there is Martin Prince Sr., of course, Martin's dad. Real unfortunate we haven't got him yet, just because, you know, we have Martin's mother, we have Martin. It's a shame we don't have his father, so I definitely would really like to see Martin Prince Sr. in the game. Clancy Bouvier is another big one that I think is should be added to the game. Of course, this is Marge's father. We do know little about him, but regardless, I think it would be a benefit to the game if he were to be added. And finally, this is a bit of a random one, but Iggy Wiggum, you know, Wiggum's father. Why not throw Wiggum's dad in the game? I think there's a lot of fun they could have with that as well. And like I said before, there was some overlap. Barry McElberry, who ElloArfur had in his Springfield nuclear power plant event. He's another good one that they could add to this event. Obviously, that is the father to Sherry and Terry. But there is plenty more. There's loads more fathers that definitely could be added. Burns' father. I could list loads, but I'm not going to. But those 4 I definitely think would be pretty cool. I probably would say, what's his name? Barry McElberry over Iggy Wiggum. But I wanted to have different characters on here, but so there you have it. And then in terms of buildings, really, building-wise, there isn't like tons of Father's Day related stuff, but you could easily tie in a lot of buildings that relate to the characters. So for example, we could get the Prince house in the game. This is where Martin Prince lives, and it's really odd that we haven't got this building yet, considering it's you know, a major character's house. Another one is the Bouvier house, obviously. There is multiple different Bouvier houses, so there's plenty that they can pick from. But obviously that could come with Clancy Wiggum. Sorry, not Clancy Wiggum. Clancy Bouvier. Then we have the Springfield Toxic Waste Dump. If you wanted to add Barry McElberry in the game, then this would be a perfect building for him. Or if you do want a general Father's Day building, the only one I can really think of is the Do-It-Yourself You Lazy Ass. This is a Springfield Mall building, but Lisa, of course, goes here to create a Father's Day gift for Homer. So I think this would be a perfect building to throw in there. But like they could definitely, other stores, other things, you know, any sort of hobby store or sports themed stuff, they can tie it all in, and with the quest line they can make it so it fits into the Father's Day event. I am completely not opposed to them doing that. I quite like it when they're quite creative in the ways they add buildings in the game. I think it works quite well. So I would like it if they were to do a Father's Day event. You know, you could tie in a lot of these types of buildings, you know, people's houses, the toxic waste dump, the Bouvier house, all this kind of stuff. You could tie it all in, and you could make a very solid Father's Day event. So that's my number 6. Number 7 is a Krusty event idea. So I really do think that character-themed updates work really well. I actually really enjoyed the Van Houten event. I think that was a damn solid event. And there are plenty of other characters they definitely could do a similar event with. Krusty event, I think, would be the best one. There's so much they can add in terms of characters, buildings. I could be here for a while listing them. And if you don't know, I have actually done a 2-part series for a Krusty event idea. I'll leave it in a link to in the description, where I basically did like 2 entire events, based entirely on Krusty as a character. So I think he is a very solid choice for one of these character-themed events. So, just to name a few, characters they could add is Aaron. This is, of course, Sophie Krustiskovsky's mother. So, Krusty's lover, when he was in, I think, Iraq, doing some sort of speech. We have Annie Dubinsky. This is Krusty's old agent, I believe, and then she comes back for a bit. I think she's his agent, and of course, I think they were lovers as well. Then we have Ron Rabinowitz. I can't say it. This is, of course, Krusty's current agent, so he would work as a character for sure. You have the Clown Doctor. This is kind of another one of his sideshows, but I don't know, there's something about him that makes me really want him in the game. He doesn't really have any lines or anything. He's just kind of there in like 1 or 2 scenes, but I don't know, there's something about him. I do want him quite badly. And then we have the Krusty Burglar. Of course, we have to have the Krusty Burglar. But like I said, there is loads more. There's multiple different, there's like there's another wife that he has, who I think Holly Hippie's the name. She appears briefly. She could be added. You obviously have Krusty's mother, who was seen in a flashback. She could be added. There's plenty of other characters that relate to kind of the Krusty the Clown show. I think her name's Miss Moneypenny, is it? Or something like that? Or Miss Pennyworth or whatever. I forget what it is. But Krusty's like assistant. So like I said, loads of characters they definitely could add. These are just some ones that I definitely would love to see. And then in terms of buildings, I think it's pretty endless as well. Just to name a few, we have the Clown Plaza Hotel, which is seen in the episode with Annie. You have the Krusty Fried Chicken. This is a building in China, but I think it's a pretty funny building. Definitely would be good to add. You have Krusty's Ark. This is his little animal shelter thing that he sets up, so that could be a pretty cool building to get. And you have Strict Fair, which is the building that is his old house, basically, in one of the older episodes, or his old mansion. We do obviously have Krusty's mansion in the game, but this is just another house that he lived in, so it could be cool to get that too. So yeah, plenty of buildings, and like I said, I am missing a lot. There's plenty of other sort of Krusty-related stuff that they could add, as well as buildings that relate to the different characters they could add, and things just around Krusty in general. So yeah, I think the Krusty event idea is definitely very strong. Number 8 is a Serfsons event idea. So I really believe this episode is such a strong possibility for a really solid Halloween event, a Treehouse of Horror event. I think this one would work quite well. Now, it has been a few years since we had the Magic update, which came a few years ago. And this episode has definitely had content added already. Like the All-Smelling Tower, that was added, that was from this episode. We, of course, have Aslan from this episode, squeaky-voiced peasant, Sorcerer Frink. So there are some things that have been added from this episode, but there is still lots of content available from this one for sure, and I definitely feel like a major event for this episode is... I think they can make 2 events out of this, honestly. There's that much stuff. They could make 2 events out of this, but for sure, I would love to see a Treehouse of Horror based on this event. I think this one is solid. So, in terms of characters ideas, we have the... Gelatinous? Is that how you say it? This big cube, anyway. He appears in the episode. He's kind of funny. He eats the cat. I think he tries to eat... I think Maggie... Obviously, Maggie's in this here. I don't know. Does he try to eat Maggie? I forget. I actually forget. But no, pretty funny character. And that's like an original. We have the Ice Walker. That would be a pretty funny character to have. Obviously, a parody of the Night King from Game of Thrones. But I think it falls in parody enough. You have Markery, which is Marge's brother. I think also ex-lover in the episode, which is kind of funny. Goblin Kirk and Milhouse, I think, would be pretty solid too. Yeah, I think they probably would be characters, although it's difficult to say because obviously the costumes that we have, like Squeaky Voiced Peasant and Sorcerer Frink, those are costumes. But I feel like New Taptar would probably make the Goblin Kirk and Milhouse. They'd probably be made characters, let's be honest. So I might have to throw them in characters. But I want to stick with like original characters, like ones that actually make sense as characters, like these 3. But Goblin Kirk and Milhouse, I mean, sure, whatever. add them as costumes as well. Why not? And then in terms of buildings, we have Amulet Hamlet, we have King Lutz, we have the Human Power Plant, we have Barber Hibbert Surgery, and there's at least 20 more buildings. I could be here for a while listing a bunch that I managed to spot in the background and stuff. And there are also a lot of ones that don't have names that I think look really cool as well. There's just so many awesome buildings in this for sure. These were definitely ones. These are some of the funny parody ones, obviously, like Hibbert Surgery, King Lutz, the Human Power Plant. These are quite, amusing ones, which would be cool. The Amulet Hamlet, that actually appeared, that was kind of a major plot point for the episode, so that one would make a lot of sense. But yeah, there is just tons of buildings that they could add for sure, so this one I think is a very solid episode for a really, major event. Anyway, number 9 is a baseball event idea. I have really missed a sport-themed, I think that a sport-themed update could be a really cool thing to have. It's been a while since we've really had a major sport-themed event. I think was Tap Ball the last one? I guess Tap Ball would be the last one. And Tap Ball was such a great event, and I don't know, I personally would love to see a sequel to this. However, I think there probably is enough. I feel like there is enough content to make a full-on baseball event. I really do. So, essentially, instead of just doing a general sport event, let's do a full-on baseball event. So in terms of characters, obviously in this we have all the actual real life baseball players. They couldn't add them. They tend to stray away from real life people. So we've got to, you might think, well, because they can't add real people, then there isn't tons of characters. Actually, no, there is a lot of fictional baseball characters within the Simpsons universe. But just for a starter, Baseball Homer as a costume, not a character. This would be a costume. I think would definitely be something that we need. It's astonishing to me that we haven't got a Baseball Homer yet, just because we got the Marge at the Bat tie-in, we had Tap Ball, and so many other sort of baseball-themed updates. It's really weird that we haven't had Baseball Homer yet, and so Baseball Homer for me is the number one that I want. But we have Flash Baylor. This is a baseball player, Jesus, I'm not even getting the sport right. A baseball player for the Springfield Isotopes, so he would work. And of course you have Tito as well, who's another player for the Isotopes. And you have Bill McCloskey as well, who's another baseball player. And there's tons more. There's loads more baseball players that appear in various different episodes that, play for the Springfield Isotopes. And as well as that, you could always add in, some costumes for certain characters. You could add one for, Bart, Homer, obviously the one for Homer. I think obviously we've already got Softball Burns, but you could add one for you could add Charlie as well in the game from the nuclear power plant. You could add Charlie and then sort of include him in the event, tie him into the sort of Springfield nuclear power plant team. So yeah, there's plenty of options they have for sure. I think this is just a really strong contender for an event. And then in terms of buildings, what could they add? Well, we already have, the Duff Stadium. We already have the Springfield Stadium, right? We already have the Isotope Stadium. What more could you add? My friends, there's lots of stadiums we could add. The Springfield War Memorial Stadium is a different, unique stadium. That could be one. The Capital City Stadium. I think this one is football, but obviously it has appeared in the past with baseball, so, they could redesign it. You have the Shelbyville Stadium. That one would work as well. Why not? Again, I know it's football here, but there is a baseball team, so whatever. They could redesign it. Or you could add the Albuquerque Stadium. Of course, this one appears only as a poster, so it would be somewhat tapped out exclusive, but they've done that in the past, and I think it'd be pretty solid. I do have a mini update in the works for a baseball event. It is just a mini, though. I do think there is enough, though, for a major event. I just haven't been bothered yet to, actually make a full event out of it. But yeah, anyway, number 10. This is, I think, the funnest one out of all of them. I wanted to have, a really quirky and unique one. So I went with a Cosmic War event idea. So, of course, Cosmic Wars in The Simpsons is the Simpsons version of Star Wars. It's completely, it's a parody thing. And do you know what? I think there is enough, and I've got one in the works, don't worry. I think there's enough content for a Cosmic Wars event. I really do. So, in terms of characters, we of course have Randall Curtis, who is the creator of Cosmic Wars. Of course, he's meant to be a parody for George Lucas. We have Jim Jam Bonks. I don't know who he's meant to be a parody of. No idea, but no, of course I know who he's a parody of. But I think he'd be a really funny character to get. I think it'd be so funny. We have Zoda. He's not called Zoda. He is just like a Yoda parody, but they could rename him, make him a bit more purple so he more stands out, and chuck him in there. And at the end of the day, Disney is the parent company of Fox, who obviously is the company of The Simpsons, and Star Wars falls under the Disney umbrella. So is Lucasfilms really going to sue like EA over adding characters from the same parent company as The Simpsons? Yeah, I don't know. It seems silly. And I think these are parody characters. They fall into parody lore, I feel. So I think they are available to be added. We have worse ones. Like, I think, like, Agent Bond is, like, more like James Bond than Randall Curtis is as George Lucas. And then finally, we have R3. I feel like this one might be, like, the worst one, but yeah, it's just R2-D2, obviously, but he's called R3 in the episode. So yeah, plenty of characters. There is loads more. There is kind of like a generic Jedi that they could add as well. Yeah, I think this one would be like a really fun, quirky, very different event. And then in terms of buildings, we've got Cosmic Wars Ranch, which of course appears in the episode, and they could make this like several buildings. There's like a studio, and there's the manor that's inside the ranch, which you can see here just in the background. But there's also like a studio as well, so they could like extend this building a lot. Add the sign, add the manor, add the studio. They could kind of make it several things instead of just one. Then you have the Jim Jam Bonk's Wild Ride, which is a thing in the Disneyland. It's a ride in the Disneyland of The Simpsons. So yeah, that one could be quite a funny, funny building that you could maybe create a Disneyland, or you could just chuck it in your Krusty Land. You got Jabba the Tahiki Hut as well, which is another ride in the Disneyland. Again, would be pretty fun to have. And then finally, Java the Hutt, which is meant to just be a parody of Jabba the Hutt, but it's like an internet place, and I think you could still tie that in. You could have like the nerds complaining about the new Cosmic Wars sequel, and they're heading right to the Java Hut because their mothers have cut off their internet, so they must go to an internet cafe. What the heck's an internet cafe? And they have to go there. I don't know. That could be kind of you could tie it in somehow. And yeah, that is my event ideas. So, like I said, oh god, and here's that was mine. I just went to ElloArfur's there for a little bit. But yeah, that's my ideas. Like I said, I think these 5 events, I think there is a lot of strong possibility with all of them. I think they definitely have lots of opportunities. Yeah. If you don't know, if you're from ElloArfur's channel, or if you're not familiar with me, or maybe you just stumbled on both of our videos randomly, I actually do a lot of tapped out ideas. They are the main focus of my channel really at this point. I do reviews and stuff of the things, and I do premium gameplays, but the thing I really enjoy doing, the stuff I've always loved doing the most, is creating new events. And they're just ideas. They're like fan fictions, basically. I like creating like small little events, mini events, major events. So if you're not familiar with my channel, please do go check out. I'll leave a link in the description for a playlist of all my Simpsons tapped out ideas. I tend to release them weekly, if not every 2 weeks, depending on how big the event is. And yeah, I think they're really fun. I'd love to see other ideas as well. It'd be great if I have a Discord as well. If you want to even, you could just join and submit your ideas and leave if you like. But I love to see other people's ideas as well. I have another series where I look at other people's ideas as well. So yeah, this is the main focus of my channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you for ElloArfur for doing this collab with me. Obviously, if you have just watched mine first, make sure to now go and watch ElloArfur's part if you have randomly watched mine first. And yeah, there's not really much more to say. So thanks for watching. Let me know any ideas you have that you think would be better than the 10 that we have provided. And I shall see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.